You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Under the royal patronage of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, a student festival themed Oman's renewed renaissance is held at Al Fath Square in the Governorate of Muscat. His Majesty the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain will pay a state visit to the Sultanate of Oman starting the day after tomorrow, Tuesday. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Under the royal patronage of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, a student festival themed Oman's renewed renaissance was held at Al Fath Square in Muscat Governorate in the presence of Her Highness the Honourable Lady, the spouse of His Majesty the Sultan. Prior to the arrival of the motorcade of His Majesty the Sultan, as many as 1,800 citizens and folklore troops from various governorates lined up on both sides of the road welcoming His Majesty. The Royal Music Band, a group of camel riders and knights, also took part as they chanted words of loyalty and gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan. They also expressed pride and joy on this national occasion. Upon His Majesty's arrival at Al Fath Square, he was greeted by Her Excellency Dr. Mediha bint Ahmed al-Shaybani, Minister of Education, and His Excellency Sheikh Sabah bin Hamdan al-Saadi, Secretary General of the National Celebrations. When His Majesty ascended the royal dais, the music band played the royal anthem. After that, the festival started with a picturesque welcoming tableau that exhibited Omani people's overwhelming feelings of joy and happiness over this great occasion. The second tableau, knowledge, symbolized education being a fundamental pillar of sustainable development in the context of Oman Vision 2040. It also underlined the related tracks of innovation, research, and all that pertains to the refinement of the nation's capabilities. The third tableau, A Promise Fulfilled, incarnated the accomplishments achieved during the 5 years of Oman's renewed renaissance, the attention and follow-up accorded to different sectors, and the extent to which they influenced the overall march of development. In the fourth tableau, Oman, the Land of Peace, the participants expressed pride over the originality of Oman's civilization based on the pillars of Shura, consultation, and peace. being the approaches and principles that establish strong bonds among the people of Oman. In the fifth tableau, Oman Across Ages, a group of citizens from different governorates of the Sultanate of Oman joined student formations who all showcased Omani heritage and folklore. Through this tableau, the people of Oman expressed their sincere love for the homeland and their loyalty to His Majesty the Sultan. It demonstrated Omani people's keenness to revive their folk arts and heritage generation after generation.
تصفق بكف المنتظم يا سيد عمان المجيد شرفتنا بحضوركم صبيان يا كبار الشيخ.
The finale portrayed sentiments of allegiance and gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and the pledge to move forward under his wise leadership towards wide horizons of progress and prosperity in the realm of Oman's renewed renaissance and sustainable growth. Alongside His Majesty, the festival was attended by members of the royal family, Al Busaid dignitaries, chairman of the State Council and Shura Council, ministers, advisors, commanders of the Sultan's armed forces and the Royal Oman Police, heads of the diplomatic missions accredited to the Sultanate of Oman, members of the State Council and Shura Council, undersecretaries, judges, senior officers, editors-in-chief of local and foreign newspapers, heads of associations and clubs, citizens, and families of the participating students. As many as 8,000 participants from the governorates of the Sultanate of Oman took part in the festival, which celebrates the 5th anniversary of His Majesty the Sultan's accession day, flagging off Oman's renewed renaissance.
يعيش جلالة السلطان هيثم المعظم. يعيش جلالة السلطان هيثم المعظم. يعيش جلالة السلطان هيثم المعظم.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, will pay a state visit to the Sultanate of Oman starting the day after tomorrow, Tuesday. This came in a statement issued by the Diwan of the Royal Court today as follows. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of the Kingdom of Bahrain, will pay a state visit to the Sultanate of Oman starting from Tuesday, 14th of January 2025, which comes in response to the kind invitation of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. The visit also comes within the framework to discuss a number of aspects of interest between the two countries and consult on various issues that contribute to strengthening joint Gulf action and developments in the regional and international arenas. May Allah the Almighty grant success to the leadership of the two countries and crown their good efforts for all that brings prosperity and development to their people and to the Arab and Islamic nations. Solid and joint history that started thousands of years ago and continues until recent times is a suitable title for the Omani-Bahraini relations. Here's a report.
The Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain enjoy a solid and joint history that started thousands of years ago and continues until recent times under the wise leadership of both countries. In recent years, the Omani-Bahraini relationship reached a peak of understanding, which is a main interest of both leaderships. Majan and Dilman, ancient names of the Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain in recorded history, set the start for a deep-rooted relationship between the two nations. Maritime and commercial trade between the Sultanate of Oman and the Kingdom of Bahrain helped in connecting the East to the West. In the same context and within the last 50 years, the Omani-Bahraini relationship set a new chapter of success in good neighbourliness and social interaction, crowned with the latest visit of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq to the Kingdom of Bahrain in 2022, only so the upcoming anticipated visit of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa leads the way to a bright joint future. The economic relations between both countries will take a priority in the discussions during the visit of His Majesty the King of Bahrain to the Sultanate of Oman, as recorded commercial trade volume between the two countries neared $1,440 million, where the Bahraini exports to Oman exceeded $840 million, while the Omani exports to Bahrain exceeded $550 million. On the same level, 876 Bahraini companies work in the Sultanate of Oman, while 270 Omani companies work in the Kingdom of Bahrain. As for foreign affairs, both countries follow a balanced approach in dealing with regional and international affairs, with main principles of good neighbourliness, non-interference in others' internal affairs, and opting for peaceful dialogue to resolve disputes. May Allah the Almighty bless His Majesty the Sultan and his brother His Majesty the King of Bahrain for common good of both countries.
On January 11, 2025, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq delivered a momentous address to the nation on the occasion of his accession day. His Majesty announced that November 20 will be celebrated annually as Oman's National Day and unveiled a royal grant exceeding 178 million Omani riyals to benefit over 100,000 citizens through housing, financial and social welfare programs. More details in the following report.
Oman marks a significant occasion, the accession day of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, a day of reflection and celebrations of nation's achievements.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أيها المواطنون الأعزاء، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
On January 11th, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq delivered a powerful royal speech to the people of Oman, reflecting on the nation's journey and the remarkable progress made over past 5 years. In His Majesty's address, he expressed gratitude to Allah for the countless blessings bestowed upon the Sultanate, emphasizing the importance of security and safety as the pillars of prosperity. His Majesty praised the unity of the Omani people who have stood strong in their determination, guided by faith and rejecting divisions that could hinder the nation's progress. On this historic day, His Majesty Sultan Haytham also announced the declaration of November 20th as a national day to honor the legacy of the Al-Busaidi family and the pivotal role of Imam Sayyid Ahmed bin Said, who laid the foundation of Oman's sovereignty in 1744. His Majesty said that this day represents not just a memory, but a continued pledge to uphold the unity and integrity of Oman, and to keep alive the noble deeds of past sultans. His Majesty also reflected on the success of Oman Vision 2040, highlighting improvements in national and international indicators, as well as the continuous support from the people of Oman realizing these goals. His Majesty the Sultan reaffirmed his commitment to expanding services in healthcare, education and infrastructure, while also empowering Oman's governorates to become key economic centers, driving growth. The development of Oman's youth remains a center priority. His Majesty emphasized the importance of aligning education and employment systems with the needs of the economy, ensuring that young Omanis have the tools to excel in the workforce. In line with these aspirations, His Majesty Sultan Haytham's government is working tirelessly to create an enabling environment for investments, fostering innovation and diversifying Oman's economy to ensure a sustainable future. On the global stage, His Majesty called for greater international unity, urging nations to build a world based on justice, human dignity, and respect for each country's values and beliefs. Oman's commitment to peace, development and strategic partnerships continues to position the country as a beacon of stability and cooperation. His Majesty concluded with heartfelt gratitude to all those who contributed to building Oman, from citizens to military and security forces, and expressed his pride in the nation's enduring strength and resilience. As Oman celebrates this remarkable day, it remains steadfast in its journey towards progress, driven by the vision and wisdom of its leadership and the unwavering spirit of its people. May Allah bless Oman with continued peace, prosperity and success. Happy Accession Day, Your Majesty. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here's a recap of our main headlines. Under the royal patronage of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, a student festival themed Oman's renewed renaissance is held at Al Fath Square in the Governorate of Muscat. His Majesty the King of the Kingdom of Bahrain will pay a state visit to the Sultanate of Oman starting the day after tomorrow, Tuesday. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. May Allah the Almighty bestow further progress and prosperity to Oman and its people under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. Thank you for watching, and until next time.